That's going to surprise you. So remember, mind-numbing nonsense. So one of them is Jeremy Kyle. Right. Well, I got tagged by Funky Prepper to do the six prepper question tag. Hold on, let's double check that. 6 question prepper tag. And I was, like I said, I was tagged by Funky Prepper. So cheers for that, Darren. And what I'll do, I'll read the questions out and then I'll give you the answers. So I'll just sort of read them off the screen. I'll give you all the questions and then we'll go through them. So question 1 is, what do you think of the term prepper / survivalist? Do you use them yourself? 2, when did you realise you were a prepper, or is it something that you always did? 3, what are your favourite TV series, book or film? 4, bug out or bug in? 5, if you could instantly learn one skill in a Matrix style, what would it be? And 6, it's a 5-item question, but I'll read that question out at the end, it's quite long. So the first one, what do you think of the term prepper survivalist? Do you use it yourself? I regard myself as a survivalist because I think that, this is just me personally, because I think the term survivalist kind of encompasses it all. So like prepping, bushcraft, survival. That's just me. Because you know, because in my mind, just bushcrafters do certain things. This is my opinion. So bushcrafters, it's more kind of living outside, but also if you go on a lot of bushcraft groups, it seems more just like an enjoyable hobby, is how it seems. In the modern world, it wouldn't have been that. Bushcraft would have been like living like naturally in the woods. But it's turned, you know, this is just me, it kind of turns out to me, it sounds like it's more like a hobby, bushcrafting, like camping. Wild camping, I suppose. But using kind of natural things as much as the natural kind of stuff you can. Whereas survival, not necessarily living unless it's long-term survival, it's kind of getting it done how it needs to be done, using whatever, that could be natural or found stuff or whatever. And then prepping, you know, it kind of, you know, conjures up what you think in your head. You know, people having prepping stuff at home, like storing stuff, storing food and water, and kind of preparing in case something happens. So I regard myself as a survivalist because I do a bit of all of it. I wouldn't say I'm a prepper. I wouldn't say I just practice survival skills or only do bushcraft. Because like I said, I think survivalist covers it all. And what do I think of the term prepper? I think nothing wrong with being called a prepper if you are one. I know other people seem to think, you know, automatically it's some, you know, like tinfoil hat nutter is hoarding tons of food and stuff, but that's not necessarily the case. So number 2, when did you realise that you were a prepper, or is it something that you always done? And there's a little bit of a weird story to this. I've answered kind of this before in one of my Q&A videos. So when I was younger, when I was really young, I remember my mum reading the SO Survival Handbook, and that kind of got me interested then. That would have been like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12. And I was always interested in it. We used to make survival tins and stuff like that, but never really kind of got into it. And then maybe early 2000s, I don't know, in between 2005, I did it a little bit more. It wasn't until I started doing the YouTube videos that I really proper got back into it, like doing it properly. But like I said, I regarded myself as a survivalist. Actually, I regarded myself as practicing survival skills. And I'd never even really heard of the term prepper or what it even meant. Now, it was only when I was on the programme UK preppers surviving Armageddon, they contacted me and started talking about preppers and all this, and it started making me think, what's a prepper? Because I kind of practiced a little bit of prepping without realising it, and always regarded it as like homesteading, like doing stuff at home and preparing your home for if anything happened. And I never actually realised what the term prepping was. And they'd said to me, how long have you been a prepper for? And I said, well, probably 5 minutes, because I never knew I was a prepper. I thought I was a survivalist. I never knew there was a term for that. So, how long have I been, when did you realise you're a prepper? I didn't realise I was a prepper, if I am, you know what I mean, until, well, whenever that programme was on, which was a couple of years ago. What is your favourite TV series, book or film? Right, well, I'm one of these people who go through stages. Somewhat could be my favourite for ages. Once that's ended and done, well, that's it, done. Films, too many to say. Books, I like survival books, and I like books where you learn something from them. I used to read Stephen King books, because funny thing is, that was another thing our mother always used to read. Stephen King books, so that kind of got me interested in that, and I've read quite a few Stephen King books. My favourite kind of books are anything you can learn from, you know, anything that tells you information. So I like all kinds of survival books, or anything, you know, learning skills and how to do things, any kind of books like that. Now, television, yeah, I'm probably going to surprise you in a minute, big time, but see, to me, the TV is pretty much kind of like the idiot box, you know. I don't really watch it to get any knowledge from it. There is some things out there, you know, like some of the survival shows are pretty decent. And I watch those, but they're never kind of on all the time, you know, there's bits here and there. So most of the time television is just like mind-numbing nonsense, and doesn't mean anything, you know. It's kind of like sitting there getting drunk. It's not doing nothing, it's just passing the time. So the telly to me is a similar thing. So if I'm bored and I want to watch something mind-numbing, because I don't really drink anymore and I only smoke the electronic cigarettes, I will watch something mind-numbing. Now, there's only 2 programmes which I will actually search out, and I enjoy them. That's going to surprise you. So remember, mind-numbing nonsense. So one of them is Jeremy Kyle. I absolutely love watching that. Gives me a laugh, and sometimes, you know, he does some good stuff on there, you know, helps his old drug addicts out and that. It's a good programme to watch if you want mind-numbing nonsense. The other one I like watching is Storage Wars, and especially Storage Wars UK. Now, I'll be laughing through the entire programme. It's so ridiculous, it's so mad, and these people bidding on these things, and then they get them, and it's like, you know, nothing underneath it, or it's some, you know, 20 grand car. It's probably nonsense. But like I said, mind-numbing nonsense, that's what I watch. I normally just flick through TV if I see one of them. Half the time television's on just as background noise. Favourite film, very hard to say, I can't really say. Loads of films I like. Can't really say one is absolutely my favourite. A lot of John Carpenter films are decent. The originals. But then so there's a lot of other films. But, you know. Number 4, bug in, or bug out or bug in. Right, well, my intention would be bug in for as long as possible, and then if that got to a point where you can't bug in anymore, then it'll be bug out. And where I am, I've got stuff for both, so I could bug in and bug out. So both really. Right, if you could instantly learn one skill in a Matrix style, what would it be? If you've not seen the Matrix, you know, he can do a computer kind of program and then put all the information into you, and then you can do whatever. So, for example, he needed, I think one of the women on it, whatever, she needed to learn to fly a helicopter, so Matey Boy did it, and then she had all the skills to learn to fly a helicopter. Trinity wanted to fly the helicopter. I think it was her anyway. If I could learn one skill like that, I'm thinking either tracking or stalking animals or people. I did think originally I'd like to just know every survival book, like every survival book off the top of my head, you know, like know it off by heart. So it would either be that or tracking and stalking is what I'd like to know. You know, if I could have an instant skill. Or just every single survival book, all crammed into one. Put that inside you. So number 6, this is a bit of a long one, right? And this is how it's written down. The nation's disenchanted, tracksuited, corner-bothering yobs have organised themselves into a feral army and are smashing their way through your borough. You are advised to evacuate your home and can only take 5 items with you. What 5 items do you take with you? Well, that's pretty easy. It would be probably the 5 items I always pick for everything. It would be a knife, and that knife would probably be my castrum. Got it in here. The castrum. Number 10, Swedish forest knife. So a knife. Now I've got a DD 3x3 tarp, and it would be that. So a tarp, a knife, a tarp, a lighter, knife, tarp, lighter, metal cup or a metal bottle, anything I would boil water in. And then I was going to say paracord, but I'm not going to say paracord now. So actually I've just changed. I normally would say paracord, but I'm not. I've just changed it. There's going to be a knife, a tarp, a lighter, a tin cup or a metal bottle, and lastly a big bottle of water. Because it's all well going off into these places, wherever, and you might not be able to get water, so it would be water. And this is what I'm, you know, that's what I'm thinking. You know, if you had to go off and hide somewhere, potentially you're going to go to the countryside, no doubt. I'd have thought. So knife, tarp, because no doubt you could probably find a lot of things. Knife, tarp. I must have said it. I can't remember what it said. Knife, tarp. Lighter, metal cup or metal bottle, and a bottle of water to go with it. So that's the 6 questions. Now I gather I've probably got to tag someone as well, or tag, it looks like they've tagged 3 people. So what I'll do, I'm just going to have a think and we'll come back and I'll tag 3 people. Right, I'm trying to think of 3 people who actually do prepping videos, because that's what the tag was. 6 question prepper tag, and everyone else has tagged 3 people. So trying to think of 3 people to tag, it's actually been quite hard, who actually do prepping videos. Quite a few people I'd actually thought of, but and I had actually filmed a bit saying all these people. I actually picked 5 and I realised they probably don't regard themselves as preppers anyway. So who I can think of off the top of my head is right, Sean from Guns UK 31. Normally does gun videos, but I know he did do a couple of videos mentioning prepping and stuff to do with like herbal remedies. I'm sure he mentioned something about prepping then. Whether you are a prepper or not, Sean, I don't know. But it's up to you. If you don't want to do it, it's entirely up to you. But I'll tag you in it. Bugging in. No, he's a prepper, definitely. I'll tag you. And Mickey O'Ryu. He's the only other person I know who does prepping videos. And he's definitely a prepper, 100%. So, obviously, if you can, that'd be good. If you can't, I'd understand, because I know what it's like when you can't do videos or it just ain't the right time, whatever. So I'll put their links in the description and I'll message them and tell them as well. Right, cheers for watching and cheers Darren for tagging me, and I'll see you later.